Huskers Radio Network programming begins in 2 minutes. It's time for the Nebraska Football Coaches Show. Proudly brought to you by Channel. Channel seedsman-placed product to perform across Nebraska. Get expert advice that yields results at channel.com. Also brought to you by your Midwest Ford dealers.
Childs under center, deep back Tillits from the 6. Snap, spin, play fake. Childs back to throw. Avalanche the pot and sacked. Elijah Judy staples him down to the earth. Another Husker sack. Huskers lead. Spartans left to right. 4 in the pattern. Shotgun snap to Childs under pressure. Swerves to his left. Ducks in the pocket. Bobbing and waving. When there he gets home. Back at the 12. Nowhere to hide from Big 96. Snap to Childs. Back to pass. Backside pressure comes. He got blown up. Cam Lenhart. Oh, he crushed Childs. Back of the 17, and he might have just called game.
Now, here's your host, Kyle Crooks, on the Huskers Radio Network.
Welcome into the Nebraska Football Show presented by Channel. I'm Kyle Crooks. We have a very special episode here tonight. We'll talk a lot of defensive line. We have the defensive line coach here for your Huskers. That's Terry Braden. We'll talk to Elijah Judy in the final segment of our show as well. First things first. Coach, welcome to these brand new studios. It's always good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. Just got off the practice field. A lot of energy out there, getting ready for Maryland.
How's the week of practice been? You guys coming off a really good performance against Michigan State as a defensive line, but you guys always want to incrementally get better. It seems like that group's done that. So how have you guys attacked this week of practice, you think?
Man, it's just been all about practice execution, become game reality, attacking each every day, staying in the moment of a what's next mindset, and we just trying to get better each and every day as a whole group, playing in-game experience together as a group together, from Van Pop all the way to Elijah Judy to Will. So all these guys, we just all together, from Cam, just coming together more and more as a unit and just believing in each other.
You have a lot of leaders in that group, a lot of veteran guys, but some young guys as well that are playing some big roles, and I think that's the case in a lot of position groups on this team. But overall, the leadership, the core leadership of this team, at least defensive line, what do you like about that aspect of it?
I like it of them believing in themselves first. One, like Judy, his last year playing his butt off, thinking about each and every play, coming to practice, ready for practice, things of that nature. And to Cam, with a cast on his hand, working through that, had surgery, just relentless effort. And guys like Will's a redshirt freshman. Most people don't really know they're playing well. Redshirt freshman. Then you got Kate, that's a true freshman, coming out there giving us quality snaps when we call his number. So just working all the way down the line. And then Van Pop, from the first game to going to the fourth game, fifth game, just getting off the ball, extension, just talking about fundamentals over and over and over. And that group, just Cam, always vocal, talking about how can we get better, what we need to work on, coming up to my office, sitting down, watching film. It's just that mindset that Coach Rules then established before I was even here.
And Coach, there's a lot of noise and outside noise when you're in a program like this, especially after Michigan, and then you have a whole bye week. The noise sort of amplifies, but you guys have such strong voices within that program that these guys they're truly only listening to you for the most part. I mean, social media is what it is, but you're the main voices. How have you seen them? I mean, because the performance, the bounce back that they had against Michigan State, it was noticeable, the progress that you made over the bye week. But when you have to deal with sort of that outside noise after a Michigan game and then have to sit on it for a week, how do you think your guys were able to adjust to that and just focus on the process?
Well, it's a good and bad thing because, one, now you can self-scout and, like, what do we need to do to get better? And one thing, since I've been hired, I was talking about can't get bored with the fundamentals. Get off, pad level, hand strike, going back to the fundamentals. And then peeling back, all right, what do we need to work on? All right, stopping the run. All right, we're going pad level, under the shoot, extension, hand, tit and pit hand placement, bicep sternum, one gap hand placement. So those things, when you have a week off, you can think about, okay, we need to get back to the fundamentals. I'm going to keep preaching it. It's all about the fundamentals. And, yes, this is a young society where these kids are kids. Instant gratification, they look at their phone, something instant happen. But my job as their coach is, hey, no distractions, no outside noise. Let's focus on the main thing, keep the main thing first. And it's us getting better and stopping the run up front and getting to the quarterback and assault when we have the chance to assault.
Chatting with Terry Braden, talking Huskers defensive line here on the Nebraska Football Show. Okay, so you had the chance to look at the tape against Michigan State. Where did you see the biggest area of growth from your guys?
Believing in themselves and getting off the ball and playing with relentless effort. It's all about relentless effort, getting off the ball, relentless effort, knowing your assignment, doing your assignment. But when you get to your assignment, making a play and getting off the ball in effort. I'm always going to preach relentless effort. Will had a sack. Not on the pass rush move. He had a stunt call, but it was a relentless effort. Since I've been hired here, just talking about relentless effort, shocking effort, getting to the quarterback, and it's all of us together. Keona turned him back in. Will was right there to make the tackle. So it's just about relentless effort and can't get bored with the fundamentals. And I might get bored saying that, but that's the truth. And killing out the outside noise, no distractions. It's all about us in this room and then us as a team.
Was there a process in fall camp to get to that where there's a trust in, okay, coach has a point, we always have to go back to fundamentals because it's not the flashiest thing in the pan? When you think defensive line play, you want the next big spin move, swim, rip move to get to the quarterback. But focusing back to the foundation, the fundamentals, did it take a while for that to sort of sink in for these guys in spring and fall camp, or did they kind of latch onto that right away?
No, in camp, you can go through the run game progression and then go pass progression. Like in pass, you got the approach, move area, and finish. The most important part is about finishing the pass rush. But you have to always revert back to those slides and those progression learning, teaching methods of getting in the stance, pulling grass, replacing the downhand, getting off the ball, set line, script. All those things you have to keep going back, training, because when you hear it so much, like right now, I always use this acronym. If I punch you in the face right now, what's going to be your reaction? You're going to punch me back, right? But it's your reaction. D-line is about getting off the ball, reacting. So you got to see it multiple times for you can be ingrained in your mind to play fast and react.
I might not punch you back in the face because I'm scared of the reaction. But yes, I get your point in that. Let's go back to week one. It was a full circle deal for you because, look, you're coming from the NFL. You're coming from one of the premier franchises in the National Football League that has been the standard in the Kansas City Chiefs. Lo and behold, your first game as a Husker position coach is at Arrowhead Stadium. What was that like for you?
Oh, it was a surreal moment. When I had a chance to intern at the Pro Bowl, I was a G.A. Bethune-Cookman, and I had a chance to sit down and talk with Emmett Thomas, a Hall of Famer. And he ended up introducing me to Ted Cruz, and Ted Cruz introduced me to Coach Reed. And I was doing an internship under Troy Vincent. Troy Vincent Jr. that worked here, his dad had an internship, the NFL experience for HBCU interns or GAs to intern. So I was just there working, and for me to meet Coach Reed 2 weeks later, Eric Bieniemy called me, and they hired me. Started off as defense assistant, worked with Bob Sutton to move 2 years later, working with Steve Spagnuolo, his right-hand man, and drawing the playbook. And for those guys to come, we did a walkthrough. The whole staff, defensive staff, Coach Reed, they all showed up. It just my mom always taught me a good name is better than money sometimes. So, it's all about having a good name and lead a place better than you found it. And Coach Reed mean the world. I just text them, 2 days, not before they, just lost some money, but those guys mean the world to me. Spags, from Joe Cullen, I learned D-line plays from Brandon Daly. The list goes on. Rod Wilson, all those guys that's there, it's like a brotherhood. And basically the same thing that Coach Rule built here when I came here, same thing, brotherhood, So they very special to me. And that day and being on that field was a surreal moment.
Championship DNA, it's something that's hard to get. I mean, you can have a collection of talent and not be a good team. You see that all the time, especially at the pro level. And even more now in the NIL age, you can get a lot of talent. It just doesn't mesh on the field. But you were a part of a team and a franchise in the Chiefs that had championship DNA. Outside of the talent, what made all of that work for you guys in Kansas City?
You know, I've been blessed to went to 5 Super Bowls, won 3, and it's people. You got to have good people around you to surround you to win championships. Same thing we have here. From starting with Coach Rule all the way to Coach Butler, Coach Hogerson, we have great people on our staff. And that translates osmosis to the kids, you know. It's all about people. People believing in you, looking in your eyes and like, no, you can do this. And I know you can do this. So let's get it done.
Adjustment for you coming from the NFL now to college. Like you said, you've had some, of course, opportunity to coach in certain areas in college and be a GA, Bethune-Cookman, like you mentioned earlier. But what are some of the differences? I'm sure there's obvious differences coaching from NFL to college, but what stands out the most there?
It's something that I love, man. You actually can mentor the young man. You know, in the NFL, if you can't get it done, you cut, waiver. I might be talking to you in the hallway, email come up, you've been waived. But here, I can look into a Van Poppel eyes, I can look into a Judy eyes, and I say, I can believe in you. I've seen you through training camp. And I know that you can go out there and make this play. And talking to them about life, you know, they kids still, you know. Yes, it's the NIL age, but they still are kids. And that's what I got into coaching for, all about the young men. Not about being at Nebraska, the experience. It's about me pointing to a young man because my position coach in college, a man get up and go to work. Now I translate that to my sons. So that's what coaching really is, about inspiring a young man. And I truly believe if you do that off the field, it's going to translate on the field and they run through a brick wall for you.
When you coach a guy like Chris Jones, who's just a freak of nature at the next level, how much coaching do you have to do with a guy like that? Or is a lot of it natural with somebody like that?
For one, you got to get to know him. It's all about relationships. You know, me and Chris made a relationship. And also, too, at that level, you can learn something from them. You know, they professionals. So a lot of pass rush stuff I learned from Chris, pass rush moves. And then he'll come pick my brain. What you see of this guard do? How does he set? Is he vertical high, vertical low? What moves you think I should use this week? You know, a D-line don't have that many moves. You know, you got to go to counter and power. But the most important thing with Chris, it was just me truly building a relationship with him.
You've had a chance to coach now a handful of games at Memorial Stadium. You've been in a bunch of NFL stadiums. Arrowhead's probably, I would say, the closest in the National Football League to a college environment. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But what's Memorial been like for you?
Oh, Memorial been beautiful. I'd be so locked in, and my wife like, hey, it's so loud. But I'd just be so locked in because I get the personnel right. And but when I do get a chance to walk out the tunnel and the fans and the love that they show for football, that's why, you know, I always tell all these recruits, man, it's so special to just get up here and see this atmosphere because it's beautiful, man. Nebraska's beautiful.
Yeah, Arrowhead, Seattle stands out for me at the next level that maybe are the closest to Philly, yeah. Snowballs at Santa Claus. We all know
Denver
that
get
story.
pretty loud.
Denver's pretty loud. You would know better than anybody, but
I've been through all of them.
And you look at it, I mean, NFL stadiums, max capacity for most of them are 75. I mean, these stadiums in the Big Ten are 100.
Right.
Here you got 90,000 plus, so it's a different animal. So we'll continue with defensive line coach here, the Huskers, Terry Braden, coming up after the break. We'll talk about some of his guys here and getting set for Maryland coming up on Saturday. Fans, as a farmer, challenges arise daily with the new enhanced Channel Seed brand. You can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Also, get reliable propane, fuel, and lubricants from Central Valley Ag for home, farm, or business. That is CVA. We'll step aside here on the Nebraska Football Show presented by Channel. More at Terry Braden after the break.
Hey Huskers, what would you do with up to $75K to upgrade your irrigation game? Automate that tough corner of your farm, add remote monitoring, or finally swap out that old pivot? Valley Irrigation just kicked off a bold $100,000 grant backing growers with real plays. 2 big awards, 1 chance to turn your irrigation challenge into a game-winning drive. See the playbook at valleyirrigation.com/Huskers. Just log in and grab an instant $50 Valley Parts or Service voucher. Here's the snap, valleyirrigation.com/Huskers.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities, so do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields. With the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorseed Enlist corn, the unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with PowerCore Enlist corn, and other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $3,250 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and $0 down.
Welcome back to the Nebraska Football Show. Kyle Crooks talking Huskers D-line here with Terry Braden. As a farmer, challenges arise daily with the new enhanced Channel seed brand. You can tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. All right, Coach, the Huskers getting set to go on the road. This is the first true road environment for this group. Going to leave a day early on Thursday for the Saturday game, but you have to fly east. What are some of the challenges that arise for the Huskers against Maryland this weekend?
I think the most important part is about focusing on us. They got a freshman quarterback, and for my room, I'm just big on we got to get to the quarterback. First, stop the run, and earn the right to rush the passer. So, things of that nature that we have to really, really focus on. I think it's always about us and how we can assault this quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And it's a guy, Malik Washington, that necessarily isn't a run-first guy, but in the red zone can take off and run. He has 3 rushing touchdowns this year. Let me ask you this. From when you face a running quarterback, whether it's Sorsby or Childs this past weekend, a Bryce Underwood who can take off with his legs, what are some of the challenges in preparing for somebody who has the ability to run and extend plays from your position?
And then it goes back to what I said in the first segment. It's about relentless effort, number one. And then 2 is about we got to understand his lunch point is different than others. He is a dual threat. He can extend it down with his legs. He has done a good job when the teams that he faced from Washington, Townsend, those guys, he done faced teams, FAU, extending it down. So our challenge is complete, relentless rush, getting to the quarterback and understanding that this release point is different than normal quarterbacks.
Let me ask you about some of your guys, but Cade Petchak is somebody who's a freak of nature. John Butler said in one of his press conferences a couple weeks ago that he's a little off, but in a good way. Some of the guys, I'm sure you've coached some guys in the NFL that are a little off, but in a good way. You need that edge as a defensive lineman. How can you describe Cade for me?
Cade is a guy that's just serious 24/7. Sometimes I just try to crack a joke with Cade, but that's what you need. Mm-hmm. He has an extreme motor, getting to the ball, and he played with great energy and effort. His effort, the last game I gave him EE on the play that nobody, a normal fan, unless you were a coach, would notice it. But he retraced, went to the ball, and just played with an awesome motor. And I love that about it. And he's eager to learn the game. Always asking me questions, always in my office, always coming off the field and say, hey, coach, what is this? What is I sometimes have to, hey, man, just go out there and play. Mm-hmm. And that's what he do. He's physical, he's tough, and he plays with extreme great effort.
What's the collab effort in a film room? How much of your players are doing some talking? I assume most of it is you, but how much of the players are getting up there and talking through some of the film?
They don't get up, but they definitely sit down and interject. If we like, in my room, I always give these guys an assignment to study first, second down, run. Third, I'm going to tell them, but I give them an assignment. They have to study short yardage, goal line, situational awareness, and it helps them to know when they win the winning moment by learning all these things, 3rd and 1. But, you could give all these guys one, but D-line is all about getting off the ball and going, So that's the biggest thing. They have a great job studying. They'll tell me what's the top runs on Sunday after we finish. So that type of things that you really, really like from a group that's trying to get better.
You mentioned Williams Nwaneri, and I think he's probably the most fascinating guy to fans. He's an NFL body type already. He's only a redshirt freshman. You see some of the plays he made this past weekend against Michigan State. You mentioned the play where he was just sort of trailing and just constant motor. How has his knowledge of the game, maybe maturity around the game, grown since he's gotten here?
For Will and his high school coach, Mosey does a good job being here with him. He has FBI, football intelligence, where he's asking questions, the backfield set. He's looking at, tails that for O-line give us, so those things Will he come in my office, hey coach, what you think about if I go with this type of move in, so he does a good job of trying to get better, sit in my office, and the biggest thing Coach Rue said it to him in is one word, motor, and he has that, playing faster, motor, the faster he play, the better he's going to be.
What's his ceiling look like? I mean, it's sort of scary when you think about what his abilities could be before he even gets to the next level, right, where you truly reach your ceiling, but Here at the college level, what are we looking at here? What kind of player are we looking at?
I think he's going to be a dynamic player that's going to keep developing and getting better.
Mm-hmm. And that's sort of the goal, right? And you get guys here, and that's why you came here to college to get a guy like Williams Nwaneri who has all the tools, but to build that maturity aspect and all of the intangible things around the game for you as a coach. I'm sure that's incredibly satisfying.
It's good, and it's not just Will; it's just the whole room. To have Kay from not even having a position coach in high school. If you watch his high school film, you're like, wow, to come in here and when I'm watching him, he's doing everything. I'm asking him to do, Will doing it. Like all of them just taking the coaching to the field. Even Coach Rule. Coach Rule is a D-line guy. Take the coaching that he gives. And sometimes he gave, all the time, not sometimes, all the time he give great advice. And I'll be trying let me hear the coaching point because it's so good. And the knowledge that you receive, and that's the biggest part about this this organization is like we all here just for one thing, to get better.
Chatting with Terry Braden, talking defensive line here on the Nebraska Football Show. Your relationship with Coach Rule, I mean, he's over there with you guys, and sometimes that could be a little tough as a position coach. He has a lot of knowledge about the defense and defensive line. What's that relationship like between you two?
You know, me and Coach Rule last night was in there watching protections, you know. I didn't know Coach Rule before I was hired here. You know, I met him through Dawson Dad. And the most important thing for me is having a guy that, you know, most rooms and buildings you go to, they don't have a D-line guy. You can't go vent or ask a question.
Mm-hmm.
For him, and for me, it's like, okay, I could go to Coach Rule and what do you see? What, you know, and that's the thing, like Coach Reed taught me this a long time, Emmett Thomas, leave your ego at the door. Like, there's no ego. And we talk about championship culture a long time ago. It's how can I get better? If it's a question, let me go ask him. And that's the relationship we have. We're like, I don't have no ego, Coach. What you see? How you see it? What's the communication you used to use? He coached the position. Mm-hmm. So for me, and my mom taught me this long, leave the ego at the door. Like once we Nebraska and we all together, it's all together. And I love that he could come in my office last night, came in, said, let me show you this stunt. Let me show you this stunt. And like, all right, how did you coach that? So to have that relationship, and it's growing. This is my first year with him. I think I've been here, 8 months? Mm-hmm. You know, relationship grows over time, and we communicating good. You know, he come to me, I come to him, and it's been great for me. You know, to learn. You know, I don't run from coaching, I run to coaching, and he does the same thing. Like he wants to help young coaches, like Coach Snow. Like I love Coach Snow. Come to my office and sit down. Like John Butler was so intelligent, so smart. Like these coaches have so much wisdom, and as a young coach, most young coaches don't understand this. Like learn, just always learning. When you stop learning, you die. And
yeah, I love that point, and you sort of lead me into the next question about John Butler and him taking over this defense, and somebody who was a position coach here last year and has also a lot of experience in the National Football League. What's that collaborative effort with Coach Butler and then all the position coaches on the defensive side when you guys are putting together a game plan? What are those meetings like, and sort of, you know, what's sort of your input? How does that process go? Coach Butler does a good job going around the table and asking from Addison Williams, Rod Dvorak to Simpson to Snow to AD to even Noah, you know, Ira. Like, it's a team effort, you know. And Coach Butler, hey, what y'all think? What you think? Let's pull out. Like, he's always asking what you think, and that helps a person that's on the staff feel like, okay, I have a say in something or in the game plan, and that helps everybody. You know, we work as a team. Coach Butler has a phenomenal mind, defensively mind. He think about the scheme all the time. He think about football so much, and he goes so fast. Hey, Coach, let me. So I'm that one. I'm like, hey, Coach, and he slow down, and he, you know, all right, Terry, let me go back to this. You know, and that's the part of having a staff together. It's all our first year together. You know, and he does a good job just asking people's opinion and what's best work for the young men on the field. Phil Snow is definitely a luxury, isn't it, to have a guy? Man. Does he come in your office often? I come to his office. He come to my office, man. I love Coach Snow, man. He's been truly a blessing. For some reason, everywhere I go, I find an older coach and just try to get all that wisdom that I can. Yeah. So looking ahead, you know, what are the challenges, I guess, for this young group? First true road game. Do you talk to them about sort of schedule, especially your group? I mean, you guys have your meetings in the hotel. You had sort of somewhat of that at Kansas City where you're at a hotel all day. What are the challenges of a road game? Want to just like go back to what you said earlier, and I texted the guys last night. Make sure you start packing now. You know, make sure you pack. And then Judy texted me back. Did you pack your drawers? So it's those things where, you know, it's great because we are eliminating distractions. And that's the thing. Like, get on the road first time. It's not about eliminate distractions. Let's just focus. We on here on the business trip. Play a game, win a game, get back on the plane, come back home, and let's go back to the next week. One at a time. You guys have a consistent group chat? You guys yeah. I have to constantly? Not consistent. I don't like all that. No. But I do get mad if I see the green chat go green. I'm an iPhone guy. There's an Android guy. Is there an Android guy on the team? Sometime David Hawkins. I gotta pull him in. So yeah, that's not good. We always see that. I have that with Damon Benning, who's my radio analyst, who's a running back here and two-time national champ. He's got an Android. We give him flack all the time. We're gonna continue here. One more segment left with Coach. We're gonna chat about Elijah Judy because we have a conversation about him with him in the final segment, and certainly he's had a great journey here at Nebraska. Fans, contact 811 2 days before you dig to protect your underground utilities and yourself. It's free, it's easy, it's the law. Also, fans, as a farmer, challenges arise daily with the new enhanced Channel Seed brand. You could tackle them all. Rise to the challenge with Channel. Learn more at channel.com/rise. Final segment with Coach Braden after this.
set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and $0 down.
This is a commercial for Pioneer Seed Corn.
In 1926, Pioneer revolutionized farming with the first commercial production of hybrid corn, and we've been innovating ever since.
The one that started it all, the #1 seed to beat, the one for you.
In 2026, we celebrate a century of innovation. Plant the 100th season. Plant Pioneer. Visit pioneer.com/100.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
For almost 50 years, Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont has been more than just a dealership. We're a family dedicated to serving yours. Shop Nebraska's #1 volume Buick GMC dealer for the new car, truck, or SUV to fit your needs. We're also your GMC Business Elite dealer for commercial vehicles. Visit us at SidDillonBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. Their technicians don't earn commission. This equals fair treatment to their customers. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company, and now to celebrate the 75th year in business for a limited time, get a new York AC or furnace for $75 per month. Get you and your loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS.
Call 402-391-2336.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and $0 down.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
The work is dirty and sometimes dangerous. It's the kind that can break your body, and if you let it, your spirit. But while there may be better ways to make a living, you won't convince me there's a better way to live. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
Welcome back to the Nebraska Football Show, presented by Channel. Kyle Crooks, joined by defensive line coach here for the Huskers, Terry Brennan. Final segment with him, and this is a very special moment of the show. We're going to take a look back at the Alumni Hall Alumni of the Week. Alumni Hall is your ultimate Husker shopping experience with the largest and best selection of apparel, vault gear, and tailgate accessories. Shop their 2 Lincoln locations or alumnihall.com. Alumni Hall, where Huskers shop, as we take a look back at one of the great Huskers of all time.
McCoy back in the pocket. Holding, now being rushed. Sue gets him and throws him down. That is his 3rd sack of the game for Ndamukong Suh, the best player in college football.
Boy, ain't that true. Ndamukong Suh. I mean, defensive line in and out. What was it like watching him
Oh,
play?
man, just watching him getting off and shedding blocks, and I always talk about him in the room. I can't wait to actually meet him. I know Melvin Ingram, guys that I have coached, Carlos Dunlap, the guys, they know of him, and they always talk about him, and I just can't, and also, too, side note, I love football, but his, financial literacy, that I follow online, I think is awesome, man, and, football is more just than X's and O's. He does a good job. Performing on the field was great, and also what he doing transitioning off the field has been phenomenal. So I just think he's an amazing player, one of the best Huskers that played here, and I can't wait to meet him and the guys meet him in the room.
What is there a guy right now in the NFL that you marvel at, watch playing the position? I know Chris Jones, you coached him, but is there anybody else around the league that you look at and say, wow, this guy's special?
Myles Garrett, I think he has an elite motor. I love watching him. George Kalafis, I know I coached him, but I just love watching George. I love watching a lot of guys, man. I go down the list. Michael Parson, his get off and his transition to the pass is phenomenal. So, the list goes on in that.
You have the guys make sure they watch NFL on Sundays?
Oh, absolutely.
Or do they watch it? I'm sure they watch it.
I make up cut-ups and watch it. And Coach Rule taught me that once again. Hey, show them. So I show NFL copies of, all right, you see how they playing? Are we playing to that level? So I think it's always good for them to see watching the next level if that's you have aspirations to be.
Yeah, that's really smart. And let's talk about one of your guys who's older, veteran of that group, Elijah Judy. Got a chance. We'll hear that conversation coming up in the final segment. But he's a father, a husband, football player, first college graduate in his family. Just how proud are you of a guy like that?
Oh, man, for my first room to have Judy there, my first senior, he had his first sack of his career, just last game, and graduated. He just keep getting better and better, playing the position. Man, I got so much love for Judy, and I'm so happy that he's playing to the standard that he wants to play and getting better each and every day. And off the field, for him to graduate, that degree means everything. Without that, there's a lot you can't do. Yes, we want to go to the NFL, but NFL don't last forever. So he has Coda, he has his wife. Judy is doing an awesome job being a leader in the room, vocal. So he's come a long way, and from me being here from spring all the way now, the sky is the limit for him for the rest of the season. I'm really excited and see where he's going.
And how cool is it to see that inspiration that he has on a daily basis when you see his son out at practice every day?
He brought his son to the meeting room, and I didn't hardly speak to him. I just gave Coda a hug. My son Carter is. My son, they almost the same age, so they, if they come to the house, I have the D-line over, they eat at the house. Like before Michigan, they had them over, and we had all this, food, and Coda and Carter just playing together. It's just a family, man. That's what it's all about.
Do you guys exchange notes about being a father, like changing diapers and all those things?
No, but, he's married, so I could say something about being married, and he laugh, and he know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a unique relationship that you guys have for sure, and just the amount of responsibility that's in his life that you don't necessarily think about, because being a full-time college athlete is a full-time job now. And now he's a father, he's a husband, and all those things get put into the pot. I'm sure you have a lot of conversations with him. Just I'm sure you have a lot of human conversations with your players, just in general, of just advice, right, outside of football.
Yeah, I'm always big on coaching is one of the best mentorships that you can have. And the guys in the room, I'm going to talk about life. Football is number one. Now, we focus on Maryland. We always all down and focus on Maryland. But when it's an opportunity to talk about life and football, and because football translates to life and life translates to football, like being on time, showing up to the meal hall, right? Like being dressed for practice, being right, professionalism, how you walking in the building, how do you carry yourself, right? Perception is reality. And that's the biggest thing that I always preach to my guys. Even financial literacy. Like, life is life, man. That's why I love coaching, because it's not just coaching X's and O's. I'm coaching them through life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially now with players having to deal with money being in their direction that necessarily wasn't there years ago, and having that aspect of financial literacy and understanding how to live with money. It's a little bit different nowadays. If I told you, say, back in 2010, that you'd be here coaching the Huskers, what would you tell me?
2010. Man, I
like 15 years ago. Would you think you'd be here coaching the Huskers?
No, not at all.
No.
But you know what? It's a blessing.
Yeah.
You know, every journey, every turn, my whole journey, like, to be honest, is a blessing. I'm a man of faith, and I believe that it's a blessing that I'm here. It's a reason that I'm here. You know, I always say if I could touch one, I could change a generation. And I'm real big on that, man. Like, I never thought that, you know, I talked to Dawson Dad and, you know, other people that knew Coach Rule, and Coach Rule would interview me on the Zoom call and wait for me after the Super Bowl. Things just don't like that happen. And he's a D-line guy, and I'm learning from him. Like, things, like, I always think about the positive. You know, so much negative. Coach Rule brought John Gordon here, and I read his books, Energy Vampires. You know, it's so much people and then you talked about outside noise. Like, that's the most important part, like, killing that outside noise and, like, thinking about the positives. Like, what's good here and what's great here. And Nebraska is phenomenal, from the fans, from the coaches, from Coach Rule to Coach Butler to Snow. Like, I'm so blessed in my room. These young guys getting better each and every week, looking at them eyes and believing in them. That's what is most important. I'm believing in them, and they believe in me. And Coach Rule believe in everybody. Mm-hmm. See, it starts from the top. And that's what people, when you talk about outside noise, that's how you kill outside noise, by focusing on us. And I'm so blessed to be here, man. You know, and my wife, I told her, God got us here for a reason.
The first interaction with Coach Rule, was that the Super Bowl and that Zoom call? Was that the first interaction?
That was my first interaction ever. First time meeting him, everything.
And you were preparing for the Super Bowl at that point?
No, it was during the playoffs. It was during the playoffs.
Oh, during the playoffs?
I had my first interview.
So that was probably a whirlwind time for you. What was that first interaction like with Coach Rule?
Well, he was on Zoom call, and we started talking the same language. I'm a Joe Cullen disciple, learning from Joe Cullen, and you know, he teaches things that Coach Rule been believing in from day one, and you know, it just hit.
Mm-hmm. Final one, Coach. But how do you feel this group's ready to perform this weekend? It's an interesting Maryland team where they haven't had a whole lot of success running the ball. They've run the ball the fewest amount of times in the Big Ten. They've thrown it more than anybody in the Big Ten. So it's a unique test to deal with this weekend.
I don't think no test is unique. I think everyone, we got to go in there with the mindset. You got to stop the run and on the right to rush the passer. You got to have that mindset each week. Can't take nobody for granted. You know, they could come out here, run it. They come out here and throw it. But if we stick to our fundamentals, getting off the ball, knowing our keys, getting the call, playing fast, and with relentless effort, I think we'll be fine.
Well, Coach, appreciate it. I feel like I have a new jolt of energy just talking to you. I feel like a motivational speech here. But it's good talking to you, getting to learn a little bit more about you. And obviously this group's heading in the right direction, especially defensive line. And a big part of it is your energy and what you bring. So really appreciate the time, Coach.
Thank you so much for having me. And it's all of us, man. We all in this together. You know, we win together.
Huskers defensive line coach Terry Braden. We wrap up the show. Elijah Judy will join us next.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
Just like D1 athletes, farmers view each growing season as a new opportunity. Aurora Cooperative is committed to elevating the success of our members every season. Rooted in our core mission, we provide top-notch products, services, and expertise. Our strong work ethic mirrors that of the Huskers, driving success. Choose Aurora Cooperative, your partner in elevating agriculture. Go Big Red!
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Welcome back to the Nebraska Football Show presented by Channel. Fans Woodhouse has been a trusted partner every day since 1975. Shop your next vehicle with a home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Kyle Crooks back with you, getting a chance to chat with a veteran of the defensive line group. You heard from Terry Braden. Let's hear from Elijah Judy here on the Nebraska Football Show.
All right, Elijah, good to see you. I mean, it's a good week for the defensive line coming off a homecoming win at home. Now you get set to head on the road to Maryland in the next couple weeks, but overall the defensive line looked good. What have you guys been working on to improve and get better and put the performance you had the other day against Michigan State?
It was just about having energy, like high energy throughout the whole day, throughout the whole game, and just being violent, getting off blocks, and just making sure that we're playing for the brother next to us. So that was our goal.
First career sack for you as well the other day. What did that feel like when you get the opportunity to get home on the quarterback?
It felt great. You know, at first, I think everything just went blank before it happened. I didn't even notice it happened until after I got up and I seen the quarterback still had the ball, and I was just like, all right, it's go time from there. And it's like from here, I know there's more to come, so that's what I'm looking forward to. And yeah, it was just a great moment for me.
What are some things that you've been working on personally in terms of technique, just overall things that maybe when you're in the film room that you're looking at?
So in the film room, I'm just looking for certain pass sets, how I can change my pass rush to be able to be more effective in the game. And then for me personally, it's just being able to transition from run to pass. That's what the main thing that I've been working on. Because normally, first, second down, you're expecting to run. So there's some teams who go second and long. Now they're going pass or play action. Now it's just converting the pass when we're in run.
And I guess not to get too much in the weeds, but for you, what changes from run to pass in terms of technique and things, and for the fans that might not know?
Really nothing changed. Everything's the same. Like Coach Braden always states, get off. Without get off, nothing else works. So if we get off the ball, everything's gonna play in the hand. Even if it's run, get off the ball, we can still penetrate, hit our gaps. Same thing, pass. We get off the ball, we can make a pass rush, beat the lineman to the spot.
Chatting with Elijah Judy, Coach Braden. He's a colorful character, gets after it in practice, and he's coached at the level that you guys want to be at. He's been with the Chiefs for a long time. What has he brought to the defense?
He's brought a lot. He brought energy. Before he came, we didn't know what was going to happen. The room was down, but he came in. He brought a lot of energy. He brought positivity, and he's he's a pillar for our room. I'm not gonna lie, he's a big pillar for our room. We go by the words energy vampires, and if he don't got the energy, we'll give it to him. We don't got it, he'll give it to us. So yeah, that's what he brings to the room right now, and he brings intensity. He helps us. I feel like we learned a lot more since he got here. We learned like how to, I'm not gonna say how to pass rush, but we learned how to pass rush professionally. Just getting off the ball, being able to, like I said, convert from run to pass better. We learned moves. We got different. He teaches NFL terminology from a D-line standpoint. So he's getting us to an advanced level.
And you can see how you guys have improved. And, going back to the Michigan game, not to go back, but you guys are, I'm sure, hearing a lot of noise. And then you have the opportunity to improve in a bye week, and then you see it on tape against Michigan State. Is that sort of, for you guys, the ability to look back to say, okay, this is where we were one game, and then we've incrementally improved, and now what we see what we've put on tape against the Spartans? Yeah, definitely. I know, like, Michigan week, it was just about, I know we lost. A lot of bad things happened in that game. It was just about focus on next and how we're going to get better from it and how we can improve. And I feel as though it was a lesson learned. Mm-hmm. It was a lesson learned. They ran for over 200 yards on us, and the goal was not to let nobody ever do that again to us. So I think we took the pain from that game and brought it to this game. You got a lot of good guys in your room, Elijah, but Williams-Nwaneri stands out to me. I mean, he's an NFL body already, but what he's done in the early portion of the season, what maybe has popped to you when you watch him play in practice and on game day? He's a freak athlete. He's a freak. His get off, his attention to detail. He takes everything that we practice in Indy. He takes it to the practice field when we're doing team compete, and it shows on the field, obviously. So, I mean, not much I can say. He's a great player. And you're somebody who has a lot of responsibility outside of the game. You're a husband, you're a father. Just how is that added perspective to you to football and just life? Yeah, I feel like in the room I'm the uncle, grandpa / daddish. A lot of guys come to me for advice, but I know for football wise, I try to give as much advice as possible. Whether it's like how to study, how to prepare for the game, how to watch film, just things in that category. Mm-hmm. And your son Coda's out at a lot of practices, I'm sure, out of the games. What's it like, the inspiration of seeing him at practices when things get tough? Yeah, I love seeing him at practice. I know one day he's going to be here. I know he talks at home a little bit. He'll say football. And I just know like one day he's going to be exactly where I'm at. And I just want to lead by a great example and show him how it's done. And Coach Rule is somebody who's you're close with. I mean, you're the first to graduate college in your family, and he had a really nice post about that and how he called you and let you take off the day of practice. And then I've heard he was the best man at your wedding. That means a lot for a head coach to do that, to drop everything to do that. What's your relationship like with him? Yeah, me and Coach Rule are real tight. He recruited me before I transferred here. When he was at Baylor, I didn't get a chance to go to the school, but I'm glad I'm able to do it now and get the experience as coaching. For the past 2 years, he's been pushing me. He's been pushing me because he said he sees all the potential in me, and I feel like that's starting to show. I've been taking his coaching. I've been taking Coach Braden's coaching. It's a little personal, but we meet like every Tuesday-ish, just to go over game plans and just to talk about practice, talk about the game in general, and just how I can get better at my craft. You started college at Texas A&M, and now you're here. When you have a little bit more hindsight to this decision now, what has made Nebraska the right fit for you? It's just the family culture that's here. I built the family here. My family off the field, my family on the field. I built a connection with the guys in the room. I built a connection with the guys on the team as a whole. I built a very strong connection with the coaching staff. So, I mean, without that, nothing else will really work. Chatting with Elijah Judy. First true road game. You guys played at Kansas City. What's the difference now? You've played in a lot of road games in your career, but going out east, what are some of the challenges to this now first road test for you guys? For us, it really shouldn't be any challenge. We should just take it day by day, just one game at a time, as we've been doing. But, I mean, if we're really talking, it's just bringing our own energy to the game, not letting the crowd play a big part in any part of the game that we're in, and it's just staying together and staying focused. Final one, Elijah, but Maryland, I'm sure you've had the opportunity to watch them a little bit. They're coming off a loss. What do you see from them? What are maybe the challenges? Maybe not even necessarily talking about them, but for you guys, how do you guys improve and get better in this game against Maryland? Yeah, they have a great D-line, so our goal is just to outwork their D-line. Mm-hmm. As a unit, that's our goal, is to outwork their D-line, make more plays than they do. Yeah. Elijah, appreciate it, and we're so happy that you're here and excelling. First career sack for you. I know that was a thrill, and appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. Yes, sir. Thank you. Really great to chat with Elijah Judy again, husband,
father and a big part of this defensive line, has a lot of things going on in his life, but had his first career sack against Michigan State. He certainly was pumped up about that. We have an hour of Sports Nightly coming up. Jess will join me for that. Our coverage on Saturday begins at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. We'll be out east. It's the Huskers and the Maryland Terrapins, so we hope that you can join us here on the Huskers Radio Network. Sports Nightly, an hour of that. It's coming up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
Good evening, I'm Christopher Sullivan-Diaz, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Experience Advisors at Stonebridge Wealth Systems. Seniors Rink Mass and Sam Hoiberg will join Coach Fred Hoiberg at Big Ten Men's Basketball Media Day Thursday afternoon in Chicago. Coach Hoiberg and the Husker players will meet with the local, regional, and national media as well as the conference's broadcast partners in preparation for the 2025-26 season. In other Husker news, the Nebraska soccer team returns home to take on the Purdue Boilermakers in Maryland Terrapins at Barbara Hibner Stadium. The Huskers' match against Purdue on Thursday, October 9th is set for 7:05 p.m. And their game against Maryland on Sunday, October 12th will kick off at 1:05 p.m. And finally, a couple MLB playoff matchups tonight. The Tigers tied up their series against the Mariners 2-2 after a 9-4 win. The Cubs currently lead the Brewers 4-3 in the top of the 8th in Game 3 of their series. And the Blue Jays currently lead the Yankees 1-0 in Game 4 of that series. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Stonebridge Wealth Systems, navigating you through retirement of your dreams. Local advisors, a disciplined process. The Retirement Compass. Visit StonebridgeIWM.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Well, Eckley is inside his own 15. Barney at the Husker 30. Snap back to Eckley. It's blocked. Con blocked it. It's picked up. Carter Nelson. Touchdown Huskers. They came right at it. Nelson picked it up. 13-0 Scarlet and the Cream. Keelan Smith, the motion man from left to right. Snap. Quick screen near left. Leaping catch from Hunter. Leaks through. Breaks an ankle tackle. There he goes. Hunter 40. 35-30. Hunter all the way. That just might be your dagger.
Back right swing by Kennedy Martin, dug by Bergen. She can do it all. 23-13 Huskers right side swing. Virginia Adriano. Kaboom! Putting dents in the rec hall deck. It's 24-13.
Now, here are your hosts, Jessica Coody and Kyle Crooks on the Huskers Radio Network.
And welcome back, hour number 2 of Sports Nightly here on this Wednesday night edition. Great stuff with Coach Braden and Elijah. Coach Braden, he's you can tell why guys talk about him being energy, and it's infectious.
Yeah, he's an inspirational guy. You know, I told him, as you heard at the end of the show, just sort of I felt like I had a renewed energy about me after listening to him talk. But he has such a great relationship with not just Elijah, but all those guys in there, and they have the freedom to go in his office at any time and have conversations. And he's learned a lot too because of guys like, well, Matt Rule, of course, John Butler and Phil Snow and all the guys, but the amount of veteran coaches that are on this staff that have helped him along, because remember, this is a big step in his coaching career, the opportunity to run a room. You know, he was an assistant D-line coach in Kansas City and, you know, his last few years, but the ability to coach a guy like Chris Jones and George Karlaftis, he's been around the elite of the elite in the NFL and the cream of the crop in terms of the DNA of a championship team, what we've seen in the Kansas City Chiefs the last handful of years, and he's been able to bring that here to Nebraska, and I think the guys have responded to it.
I think it speaks volumes because Terrence Knighton, who was a defensive line coach before, I mean, Coach Rule still speaks very highly of him, obviously played for him. He was beloved in that room. I mean, those guys loved him, and the fact that guys like Elijah Judy, Cam Linhart, Riley Van Poppel, wanted to stick around. Even Keona Davis was here last year, you know, wanted to stick around and have also been able to build that trust and bond with Terry Braden. I think also, because that's can be really hard this day and age. A lot of times those players stay or leave or come to a program because of the relationships they've built with their position coaches. And so the fact that, you know, these guys that are big parts of this defensive line this year had such strong bonds with the guy before, have now been able to basically duplicate that with Coach Braden. Speaks volumes about Coach Braden. And obviously Coach Rule knew he had to find somebody that could fit that billing of a guy that could take over that room.
Yeah, he told the story during the show. His first interaction with Coach Rule was in his interview process at it was on a Zoom call during the NFL playoffs last year. So he had so much going on in his own life, preparing for an NFL playoff game, and then also understanding, okay, this is the next step in my career. And you're right, when Terrence Knighton leaves and you have those guys that built the connection with him, and all of a sudden to see that change, that whole dynamic change, that's a lot of work for somebody who's now stepping in and has to command an entire position room. And one, you want to instill your philosophy, but you have to earn their trust. I think he used the word trust a handful of times in the show that we just had. And it's interesting because you're just talking to him for an hour, you wonder how there's a recruit out there that wouldn't come and play for this guy. He's got that youthful exuberance about him, and he's all about talking to these guys on the football side of it, but also on the human side of it. He's not just a coach, but he's been a good friend and mentor to all those guys in that room.
Absolutely. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. So you've done a lot of prep too on this, and we've talked about it. Damon talked about it earlier in the week. I know you've chatted with the Maryland play-by-play, but it sounds like that it's not really going to be maybe as much of a challenge for the guys up front. Maryland's not a team that really wants to run it down your throat.
Yeah, what's interesting is, and I don't know if that'll change. They've played some good fronts this year, but they're dead last in the Big Ten in rush yards per game. They're just over 93 yards on the ground per game. They're only 3.3 yards per rush, which is near bottom in the league. So all the rushing statistics, they're near the bottom. And what's interesting is you wouldn't expect that to be the case with a true freshman quarterback, right? Because you want to take more of the burden, like we saw with Bryce Underwood at Michigan. They turn around and hand the ball off to their two different backs and not put so much burden on a true freshman, but that's not the case with Maryland. They throw the ball more than anybody in the Big Ten. They have more attempts than anybody in the Big Ten, and they have the fewest rush attempts of anybody in the Big Ten. So the dynamic, when you look at the splits of how they rank in the Big Ten with a true freshman quarterback, you'd say that's something you don't see. But I think it echoes to the fact of how good the quarterback that they have here is. He's not going to look to run, I think, right away. He's more like Bryce Underwood, where he wants to be a pocket passer and can take off in the red zone, has 3 rushing touchdowns this year. I think it's going to come down, can that secondary win against the quarterback and their playmakers on the outside, and they have a premier tight end too. So they have a plethora of pass-catching targets that Nebraska is going to have to deal with first and foremost.
How would you compare the Maryland quarterback, wide receivers to Michigan State's, what they just saw? Because we were having this conversation a week ago about it's going to be strength on strength. And so the fact that Maryland also wants to throw the ball, and then Nebraska still got the number 1 pass defense in the country, how do you feel like maybe those two areas stack up in terms of what you just saw and what you're about to see?
Yeah, I think it's very similar. I think you look at the top 3 targets for Maryland. Jaleel Farouk, who's an Oklahoma guy, was with the Sooners, and he had a big week this past week. Octavian Smith, Shalik Knotts. What's interesting is they couldn't find any sort of a rhythm in the second half. I think as quickly as they can get hot and get things rolling is as quick as things can turn on a dime, because it's such a young team. What's interesting, especially on the defensive side, which is remarkable for some of the numbers that they put up, but really everywhere on this roster, maybe outside of the wide receivers, they're very, very young. So it's going to be interesting to see how and I think they're similar to Michigan State, right? I think Childs and Childs is more of a runner, I would say, than Washington is. The receivers are very comparable in how good they are. So there's similarities there. I just think the consistency of this Maryland offense, I don't quite know yet what that is. Yeah.
So we do this thing every week for social media where we pick a player to watch, or what is it officially titled?
Best in the game.
Okay, but it's like we're projecting.
I think that's the name of the segment, Best in the Game.
Okay, but we each, before the game, pick somebody to watch out for, the player of the game. And I have not picked a defensive player this year. I think there's only been one chosen. It was Damon. It was Deshaun McCullough. And I still have not put mine in yet. It was interesting. You went same guy back-to-back weeks.
Because we talked about it.
Yeah.
We talked about it, and I think that means something. I think what we just saw, or the lack of what we just saw, you might see somewhat of the reverse of that in Maryland. I think Dillon's going to look to get him the ball this time.
I think I might go defense. I might go back to McCullough. I mean, he's trending where he's getting about a sack a game.
Yeah, I think the one thing about Maryland, which is interesting, they only have 2 returning starters on their offensive line. They've only given up 2 sacks all year, which makes it interesting. They have not had any sort of traction in the run game, so run blocking's been an issue. They've given up a decent amount of tackles for loss, but they have that could be more. I have to go back and watch more tape of Malik Washington. Maybe it's more of him just getting the ball out quickly. But how effective that pass rush will be this weekend, if you look at the numbers, Maryland's offensive line has been tremendous against the rush. So we'll see.
Well, I'm just saying there's one guy that seems to be getting either a tackle for loss or sack every game.
Yeah, I think
it's McCullough.
And Winery, I think they're all up for grabs this week.
Did Damon put his in yet?
No, I'm the only one. I went with Key, so I'm out there.
We'll see. I just am trying to, maybe not do an offensive player this week. So I'll have to think about that. Cassidy asked me again today. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think about it. But anyways,
does a winner get anything in this, or it's just pride?
I don't know. Has anybody actually?
I think it's good because the person I picked unfortunately hasn't done well all year. So I don't think I'd win anything anyway.
I had Ja'Cory Barney last week. He did well.
Yeah, I'd say so. But I don't.
I think
if I've had one that stood
Damon
out.
had an Isaiah Hunter, and he did well.
With one shoe.
So, yeah. A lot of times with those, the 3 wide receivers, if you pick one of them, you're probably going to be right.
You just got to pick the right one.
Maybe this will be the week all 3 of them get going.
Maybe.
The thing about Ja'Cory is you can always rely on him in the punt return game.
Yeah, and it's like you can double dip there. There's more possibilities with Ja'Cory than any of the other guys, right? Unless maybe Mosey on kick return and then running back and receiver. But Barney, you get more bang for your buck if you pick Ja'Cory. So that's the smart pick every week, really.
I have locked into Ja'Cory for every game for the rest of the season.
I think he's going to get one this year at some point soon.
I do too, but except I don't know if teams are going to keep kicking to him.
Yeah, I think there's. Yeah, it's a point. It certainly is a point. Do you
why would you kick to him if you were the special teams coordinator on the other side of the football?
If you have confidence in your group, if you have a punter that you ask him to just do something that he doesn't do a whole lot and just angle all of his kicks out of bounds, and does that take away from the effectiveness of the punter and all those things? But when you have a game-changing returner, I don't think you can just ignore him for the rest of the year if you're the opponent. So he'll get his chances.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to talk some wrestling here coming up on the other side of this. The wrestling team, we've talked a lot since we moved into this studio, that all the different teams have come through here, done their social media stuff, big screen stuff for Husker Vision, intro video, all that great stuff, photos. So today it was wrestling. They are now less than a month away from the start of their season. So I had a chance to chat with one of the seniors, the returners, All-American, Silas Allred. So always love chatting with him. So we're going to play an interview with him coming up here in just a few minutes. And also had a chance to chat with Kelly Natter as a part of this week's episode at The Dig, coming off the huge win over Penn State over the weekend, and also previewing this weekend another tough challenge at Purdue coming up on Sunday. So we're going to talk some wrestling and volleyball here coming up over the next couple of segments. Keep it here on Sports Nightly. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same. A wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole: Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Adventure has its own style. It's made of tall trees, unpaved trails, and at the center, the most capable Subaru Forester yet, the 2025 Subaru Forester Wilderness. It comes with 9.2 inches of ground clearance paired with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and advanced dual-function X mode. Discover adventure on a deeper level. The 2025 Subaru Forester Wilderness. Visit Duto Subaru, located at 2750 Jamie Lane in Lincoln, and online at dutosubaru.com. Duto Subaru, driven by you.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Woodhouse, it's more than just buying a car. It's about the experience. Our team is dedicated to making every visit seamless, enjoyable, and personalized to your needs. Explore a wide selection of vehicles, from SUVs and sedans to trucks and luxury models, all backed by expert guidance and exceptional service. Whether it's your first car or your next upgrade, discover why generations of drivers trust Woodhouse for a truly memorable experience. Visit us at woodhouse.com today.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.
Reliable energy service wherever you need it. Whether it's propane, fuels, or lubricants, Central Valley Ag delivers with reliability and care you can count on. From your farm to your home or your business, CVA Energy is your trusted partner for agricultural, commercial, and residential energy solutions. Details at cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields with the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorseed Enlist corn. The unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with PowerCore Enlist corn, and other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
A little more slack. Plug it in.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
0.9% plus $3,250 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and 0 down.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle at the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. Have you met Coach Manning yet?
I have not. I've seen him at the soft serve machine, but I have not gone up and said hello.
He gets one. He told me every day. He's the one that got me hooked on getting the...
He's in tremendous shape, by the way.
Yeah,
Good
he
for
is.
him.
But you could tell he's really, really excited about this group. And I think I've told the story maybe to you before, but I'll never forget last year going into the season, Greg sat down with him and he was really, really confident about last year's group. Obviously, it came to fruition. They ended up as the national runner-up. But he also talked about, hey, and next year are going to be good as well because the guys they got coming back, a lot of them from the national runner-up team, but then they reloaded with some pretty big weapons and some guys that have been around and waiting their turn. So I know he's really, really excited about this group. And that's one of the things you've been asked is, are you ready for some wrestling?
Yes, and I know AJ Ferrari, who's been one of the big names. I think he came over when I got hired.
I think that was like
the same day. Probably.
Yeah, the day you got announced that you got hired. I think the day before was his announcement.
So I remember hearing him on a lot of podcasts, and his confidence, and that only adds to things. And it's funny. I was walking through the halls today, and Scott Brune, who's our tremendous photographer here, it's wrestling day here on the second floor. And I was asking him, Scott, how you doing? And he's saying, yeah, it's just wrestling day. And I said, what gave that away? All these guys walking around in singlets today? But no, it's cool to have everybody up here, and they're doing their media tour. So that's the sign that it's here. We just had basketball, men's and women's basketball last week, and now we have wrestling here. And I think there's going to be a lot of success here in the winter sports, and they're coming up.
It's funny. I think I tell you with every coach you meet or are about to meet, the nicest guy on the planet. I mean, it's literally every coach here at Nebraska are the nicest people ever. Coach Manning is one of the nicest people, but competitive as all get out.
Yeah, and you have to have that nice balance, right? I'm sure they're not like that all the time when it comes to competition. In certain areas of their life and practice where you see different areas of these guys, but it's always because we have a unique perspective, right? I get to see Coach Rule, you get to see Coach Rule in different settings, and all these coaches. But for the most part, they're awesome. And considering all the pressure they're under and all the things they get thrown on their desk on a daily basis, for them to have their heads screwed on the way they are, it's the reason why they're here, right?
Yeah, and I think, people always ask me why I like it here so much. There's a lot of reasons, but I always say women's sports and the coaches that are here. It just so very blessed by the tremendous caliber of coaches that they're really good at what they do, but they're really great to work with and really kind and caring human beings. But let's hear from Silas Allred, another really awesome guy that's a part of this program. Coach Manning's got high caliber people in that wrestling room, and Silas Allred is one of those coming back for his senior season at an All-American finished 7th last year at NCAA, 6th the year before, so back-to-back All-American finishes for Silas Allred. And heading into his senior season, I had a chance to chat with him earlier today. Here with Silas Allred. Well, now that you are going through this kind of stuff, it means the season's getting closer. How does it feel?
Oh, it's so exciting, man. I think that we have an awesome room, an awesome culture. All of our guys are just super excited to compete, to go out and just represent and hopefully build off of what we did last year.
Yeah, what did you guys take away from that? The runner-up finish, the individual performances. How did you guys carry that over into the training leading up to this point?
Yeah, I think it's just sticking to the plan. I think that we had a couple young guys last year who took some learning curves. Christopher Minto, Camden McDaniel, even Jake Van Dio. He was a sophomore last year competing. And those guys, they stuck, kind of to the game plan. They competed smart and hard. And, when it came down and it really mattered, they got it done. So I think just building on that this year, continue to trust the coaches, trust the game plan, and just wrestle hard, compete, and have fun and enjoy it.
How special was that to be a part of? I mean, you guys were down there cheering on the guys in the championship matches. I mean, just what does that say about the culture, and how much fun is it to be a part of that?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's something that I'll remember for the rest of my life. And, I've been talking to anyone who'll listen about it, just like, can we repeat it this year? Like that's the goal, that's, call it a once in a lifetime thing. like the entire week after it was like a fever dream. It was awesome. So I'm just repeating that last year, getting to experience it again, and hopefully building. There's only one spot better than what we can do last year, which is being the champion. So that's the goal.
How important is that just to embrace that mentality, to know that you guys are capable of that?
Yeah, it's huge. I think the belief is a major factor. I heard this quote one time that said wrestling is 90% mental and the other half is physical. Our sport is one that demands sometimes more than what you think is all that you have. So just, again, that unwavering belief, knowing that we can do it, knowing what we're capable of, and then, when it matters, getting it done.
Coming off another All-American finish for you, but going into your senior season, do goals change? How are you approaching this final season as a Husker?
Yeah, obviously big goals. I want to be a national champion. I want to, be the best in the country. But ultimately, when the season's done, everything changes. I want to look in the mirror and know I did everything that I could. So whether it's top of the podium or not, just giving it everything that I've got for one last go around.
Culture is so important with this group. How have you liked the way that you guys have come together in the wrestling room here leading up to this point?
Yeah, I think our culture is special. It's one where the guys don't just care about each other from a wrestling standpoint. We genuinely care about each other as people and as individuals, and I think that we just continue to build on that this year. We got team Bible studies. We go and hang out. We golf together. Some guys go and disc golf and stuff. So it's like we're truly a group of guys who just care about each other and want the best for one another.
Who's the best golfer on the team?
That's a difficult question. It depends on the day. Some days it's me. Jagger Condimenti, he's pretty good. Jacob Indy, he's pretty good too. So depends on the day, but yeah, we all compete.
There's a lot of familiar names that are coming back from last year's runner-up finish, but then there's some new guys too that are going to be added to the lineup. Give us some names to be watching out for Husker fans.
Yeah, absolutely. LJ Arujao, he's coming in. Was going to be... I'm not going to say anything, actually. But he's really, really good. So it's going to be really fun to watch him compete. AJ Ferrari, we got from the transfer portal. Going to be a heavyweight, big name. A lot of people already know. He's tough. 49, Chance Lamer. Really, really, really good. He's only gotten better being in our room, so we're excited about him. And then at 125, we got two guys there. Still kind of waiting to see who the guy's going to be. But either way, whoever ends up being Kel Lordson or Alan Kaler, both the guys are really, really tough. So it's going to be fun.
Reloading at this point, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Definitely a little bit of a rebuild, but still, we got those older leaders and Brock Hardy, and then in myself, who just are kind of, keeping the precedent the same.
Who are you sparring with? Who's your sparring partner?
Oh man, I got the best. I wrestle with Camden. I'll wrestle with Cade. I'll wrestle with Robert Kokish, our coach. He's back in the room. So man, I got a ton of guys. Ethan De Leon's healing up, but when he does, we'll wrestle together a lot too. So got a lot of great guys.
So they're asking you guys some fun questions for the big screen stuff. And one of the superlatives was most likely to cut weight with a smile. And a couple of the guys said you. Do you agree with that?
I try to always be positive. So yes, I will agree with it. But there are definitely times when my misery gets the best of me. But yeah, I try to always be positive and keep the guys pumped up.
Okay, so less than a month out or getting close to the start of the season, what does this team need to do to continue to come together to be where you want to be to start the season?
I think we just trust the process. Our coaches have been in this for a long time. Mark Manning, one of the best in the business. So I think that we just follow his leadership and we buy in and we just commit to whatever the coaches are telling us to do. If you got to do extra work, do extra work. But really, it's just focus. It's dial in, and it's the little things. It's what you're doing outside of the room as much as inside the room. So I think that we're on the right track.
Tickets are on sale too. You guys got some big time matchups inside Devaney here this year. What does that crowd do for you guys?
Oh man, they pump us up. They get us going. They're right in there with us. I think they have just as much of an impact on the matches as we do. So when those stands are full and the people are screaming, they're cheering for us. It's electric. We love it.
Great stuff. Appreciate your time.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Great stuff there from Silas, Allred, and again, you can just hear it's been competitive, but it's great culture. And he said, look, we want to be better than we were last year. There's only one spot other than there's only one more spot that you can go up, and it's to be the national champions. And look, they have that belief and confidence, and that you got to have it to be able to achieve it. So the schedule has been announced, and you can get tickets, huskers.com/tickets. But again, we are less than a month away. They are in the Navy Classic coming up on November 2nd. The home opener, though, will be Friday, November 7th against Army. And then, they back at home, not again until December 19th, but they've got a schedule here. Iowa's here in the building, Ohio State, at Penn State. But hey, some really good matchups here coming inside Devaney this season.
What are the atmospheres like?
Oh, it's great. And, it's crazy because the first year I was here, I think Iowa had just as many people here. But then the last couple of times that Iowa's been here, Husker fans have showed up. So it's been, Coach Manning was really, really appreciative of that last year because it really was a rockin' atmosphere for this group last year. And it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference.
And it gets loud there at Devaney. So that'll be interesting. And it's coming up. So early November, really those first few days of November. When you look at, I think basketball starts November 3rd, I want to say, is the first official regular season date. So you're looking at those first few days of November, and it's every single day winter sport kicks off their season. So the expectations are high, just like they are for volleyball and all these sports that we have in the fall. But specifically, you look at a team like volleyball that has the opportunity to win a national championship. I think you have every reason to look at wrestling the same way.
We're going to talk some volleyball coming up here on the other side of this. Had a chance to chat with Kelly Natter as part of this week's episode of The Dig. So we're going to play you a portion of that coming up next. The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field.
Since 1975, Woodhouse has proudly served our customers and communities. From one dealership to over 21 dealerships across Nebraska and Iowa, our promise remains the same. A wide selection of vehicles, trusted service, and financing that fits your life. We believe in honest people, fair prices, and relationships built to last. Because it's not just about the road ahead, it's about traveling it together. Start your journey at woodhouse.com.
Hey Husker fans, every grower's got that game-winning play. Maybe it's upgrading that old pivot, switching up the play with smart tech, or controlling water like a pro. Valley Irrigation's putting $100,000 on the line to back two growers ready to score big. This is your chance to get that $75K or $25K irrigation grant, plus a $50 parts or service voucher just for logging in. Don't sit on the sidelines. Visit valleyirrigation.com/Huskers. That's valleyirrigation.com/Huskers.
At Hogemeyer, we're raising the bar on yield performance, bringing world-class traits and genetics to these local fields with the exceptional corn rootworm control and proven powerful yields of new Vorce seed-enless corn. The unsurpassed flexibility and protection against above-ground pests with PowerCore enlist corn, and other next-gen corn hybrids built to perform and boost your yields. It's time to raise a better crop. View Hogemeyer products at therightseed.com.
Visit a participating AGCO dealer between September 8th and October 31st and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Iowa football game on November 28th in Lincoln, plus a pregame tailgate experience. Don't miss your shot to be a part of the action. See True Turf and Ag in Osmond, Columbus, and Fall City or Osceola Implement to enter. It's easy, it's free, and you could be cheering on the Huskers in person this season. Go Big Red!
Preparation is the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pre-game routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Set, hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
This fall, be ready for every tailgate, touchdown, and adventure in a perfect car, truck, or SUV from Sid Dillon Chevrolet. Visit us in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo and shop Nebraska's #1 volume Chevy dealer group. We're also your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, offering medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit us at SidDillonChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
You are what drives us.
Sid Dillon.
Call SOS, a trustworthy company since 1950. Their technicians don't earn commission. This equals fair treatment to their customers. SOS is a family-owned third-generation company, and now to celebrate the 75th year in business for a limited time, get a New York AC or furnace for $75 per month. Get you and your loved ones comfortable again with SOS.
SOS to the rescue. SOS. SOS.
Call 402-391-2336.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and 0 down.
What does it mean to be locally owned and operated? For Cenex, it means everything. It means that we know if you take your coffee to go or if you like to stay a while. It means we've helped Little Leagues get jerseys and local festivals get funding. It means we know what our communities need. So you'll always leave Cenex with a full tank, full of snacks, or full of smiles. Or all of the above. And that means the world to us. Cenex, powered locally.
It's not a job. I don't start my day by logging in or end my shift by punching out. I don't have a corner office, but I do have a seat with a view. I get to see every sunrise and every sunset. And while I may technically be my own boss, I fully accept that I am not in charge. I'm a Nebraska corn farmer, and there's nothing else I would rather be.
Brought to you by the Nebraska Corn Board.
The Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Welcome back to Sports Nightly. I'm Jessica Coody. Kyle Crooks here as well. Had a chance to chat with Kelly Natter, assistant coach for Husker volleyball, as a part of this week's episode of The Dig, which is powered by Emeritus, and I wanted to play you a portion of that conversation here tonight. So I think, you can look at maybe offensive numbers and understand why it was so successful. But when you talk about defense, I think it was the second best defensive effort by Nebraska in a rally scoring era. What goes into that? What goes into like that kind of defensive performance?
There's honestly a ton of stuff, but first and foremost is just understanding who we're playing and what their tendencies are. So there's your tendencies for your attackers. Where do they like to hit the ball? There's tendencies for your setters. Where do they like to set when they're at certain positions in the court? Or when the score is tight, are they setting someone else more than someone else? And so there's a ton of stuff to look at from a defensive scouting perspective. But I think the biggest thing, I feel like our block, we don't have as many blocks as we have historically, but people are hitting the ball out of bounds more often. So for example, Penn State, they only had 3 players with 3 kills. And I think that's a big portion of our floor defense is great. They know that they have to hit really good shots to get them down and not up. And then I think our block is just a little bit intimidating, and especially with adding Virginia over there, she's just obviously super tall, and a lot of volleyball is played on the left side of the court attacking-wise, so she gets a lot of attempts blocking, and that could be a piece of it, but I think teams are just hitting the ball, trying to avoid our block a lot more often and resulting in more errors than blocks.
Because you can point to that and say, oh, well, there's not as many blocks, but it's true, I guess, when you think about it, they're trying to find any ways to score around the block, which, hey, it all of it works, right?
Yeah, that's a big point that we're talking about as a staff. Well, why are we getting out blocked? And I think a few games ago when we've kind of been trending where the teams are blocking us more than we're blocking them. But when you really look at it and you watch it back and not only look at the numbers, you can see that the attackers are frustrated and maybe they're trying things they wouldn't normally do or going for that exact perfect shot versus kind of just playing to their tendencies and seeing what happens. I think we have that presence of, as an attacker coming to play Nebraska, I have to do something more than I usually do to get a kill.
So what's it like, sitting over there as a staff on the bench when Nebraska's playing that way, lights out from the start?
Yeah, it was obviously a lot of encouragement and a lot of just, you guys are playing great, but now we need to continue that. And it's really cool as a coach when you're kind of standing there, like there's not much more we can really say or anything that we didn't prep for. They were basically doing everything we had prepped for. So there wasn't any adjustments really during the match. So as a coach, when you're kind of just standing there, you're soaking it all in, but then you see your team and you see your leaders look at each other and say, yes, we're playing great, but like we need to keep this up. They're going to respond. How are we going to respond? And they're talking about all of the right things coming out of a timeout and challenges and the break between sets. They are expecting the team to push back and not just lie down and die. So I think it's really satisfying as a coach when you see your team kind of take that over and we don't have to be the ones giving that talk, because I think early on in the preseason, there were some times where it's like, okay, we were super crisp this set. We have to respond, and then maybe we didn't. Or vice versa. We started pretty slow, and then we have to kind of amp them up. So for them to come out, start strong, be talking about all the right things was really satisfying as a coach.
You just sit back and watch the show at that point.
Pretty much. I think everyone thinks like coaching during a game is so much like, here's what you need to do, and so much instruction and feedback. But the way I view it and the way that we try and view it as a team and as a staff is like we're building the toolkit in practice, and then during a game, it's like they just have to trust themselves and go out and play and trust that they know what they're doing and to trust their instincts. So I think it's preparing them to be ready for the moment, not trying to overcoach them within the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then you have the back-to-back at Rutgers and another record-breaking crowd and the largest audience to watch a volleyball game in New Jersey history. So there's a lot of Husker fans there though, right?
Yes, there were. But I think I was telling Brennan when we were sitting there, it felt like all the same fans, like when they were cheering for Rutgers and cheering for Nebraska, they felt like they were from the same kind of location. So I wonder if there's just like volleyball fans, you know, and it's cool to see people love volleyball that much. And obviously, I think there were more Nebraska fans and the cheers were a little bit louder for us. But I think Rutgers had a great crowd, and like even during their hype video and when they got big plays, the whole place was loud, no matter who won the point, really. But it was just a really cool atmosphere, like you said, the most watched match in New Jersey, like not just at the college level, just ever. I think that's great.
Yeah, that's cool. And cool that you brought that up, that it wasn't just, hey, because I think you could maybe get the perception, oh, it was all Nebraska, but the fact that there were cheers for both. Kyle Crooks, the new play-by-play guy, had brought up something when we were talking about that. You guys need to schedule a match in Madison Square Garden. I bet people would show up for that too.
Oh, I'm sure they would. We kind of made the joke the other day that our fans, like, they'll just crawl out of the cracks. Like, we don't know, do you live here? Did you travel here? There's just always Nebraska fans everywhere we go. So I think Madison Square Garden would be packed as well.
Well, and I think to your point about, I think they're probably fans of the sport that appreciate what Nebraska is, that even if they're not like, oh, they haven't always been a Husker fan, they want to see the show that Nebraska volleyball is.
Yeah, I think our brand, obviously people feel like they're part of our family. They love us. They support Nebraska volleyball. But just seeing the support for volleyball in general go up is really cool. And I think that is a big part of, or partly due to our fan base and all of that. But I think just the awareness of the sport, and wherever we go, the crowds and the home crowds are great. And I think it's just on the way up, which is really cool.
So, and that was not an easy turnaround. You guys got in late and then had to turn right around and play Rutgers, who you've talked about as much improved, as much as people want to think, oh, they're not, but they're very much an improved team. And then, you know, to have to do that turnaround was not an easy task, but the team responded well. You guys had to be pleased with the way they came out and battled, and you got a lot of different players in there as well.
Yeah, it was tough, just obviously getting there late, having to wake up not too early, but still waking up, going to breakfast, going to serve and pass. But I think when we went to Serve and Pass, the vibe was really good. Everyone had energy. Maybe it was some delirious energy from lack of sleep and just coming off the high of the night before. But there was energy. It wasn't like anyone was, oh, I'm so exhausted, I don't want to be here. It was like, all right, we're on to the next. We mean business. And that Rutgers team is definitely one of the best they've maybe ever had. And they're super balanced. They have a great setter. And I just think what they're building there, it takes time, and it's starting to take off, and they have a really good team.
For Bergen and what she's able to do, she's named the Big Ten Setter of the Week. You work with her, obviously have seen her growth. What's different about her here in her third season?
I think she's always had great hitters around her. Obviously, her class alone is just a huge part of our team. But I think for her, it's more like she's taking charge of the show. Like, who am I setting when? How am I setting them? We're obviously doing some different things offensively, a little bit faster. We have some different plays that we run, some different sets. So I think maybe creativity is a good word for it, or fearless. I'm not sure. I think she's just free out there. And obviously, as a setter, when you have all these great hitters, you know there's no bad choice. And that's something that her and I have talked about a lot, is just, yes, when you scout for a team, what you want to do offensively to them, there are some little things here and there that you might switch up, whether it's the route your middle runs or who you want to set from a certain area of the court. But for her, there's no bad choices. And I think as a setter, that's very freeing, because you can very easily overanalyze your decision-making, who you want to set when, all those things. But I think she just goes out there and she just plays, and she puts up great sets. She's super consistent. But I think for her, it's just the creativity is, I think, a little bit higher than last year.
Again, that was Kelly Natter on The Dig, which is powered by Emeritus. Emeritus is proud to power The Dig and all of Husker women's sports. You can listen to that full conversation. It's out now on our podcast platforms and our YouTube channel as well. It was fun. We talked a little bit about this last night, but it was fun hearing her talk about the trip to Rutgers. She also coached Bergen Riley the last couple seasons, but hearing her perspective on how Bergen's even better this year, the two-time Big Ten Setter of the Year. She's even better this year. So just a lot of great stuff there from Kelly.
Yeah, it's a fun team, and it's continues to get rolling here in Big Ten play. So Washington at home, and then a tough environment in Purdue on the road. So we'll see if they can keep their winning ways going. But it's just dominance. It's when you see a great team do what they do, and with all the expectations that were placed on them in the preseason, a lot of teams can, even if you're talented, you could still crumble under a lot of that pressure. And what's interesting about this team is I think they thrive on that outside expectation that they're the best and they're going to be the best, because the way that they've played this season it's been remarkable, and it's been one of the best teams I think we've ever seen here.
Yeah, for sure. Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. All right, we're back to wrap up the show next.
Whoever said work smarter, not harder, didn't realize you could do both.
Get 0.9% plus $32.50 cash on F-150 or lease F-150 for $499 a month and $0 down.
Set. Hike. When champions take the field, they come ready to play. TNL Irrigation understands the value of momentum. Like a Husker drive, there's no stopping. If you live for farming and football like we do, TNL Irrigation has you covered. Check your fields from the game with a remote system, or just enjoy the play knowing our systems are reliable as a sold-out Memorial Stadium. Touchdown! Nebraska born, Nebraska strong. Husker Nation and TNL Irrigation are like no other.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, You'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse and the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Welcome back. Final segment here of the show tonight with Kyle Crooks. I'm Jessica Coody. The unofficial, I guess, preseason poll by the Columbus Dispatch came out for Big Ten men's basketball, and Huskers coming in at 14th. I think they're just fine. They don't really care, obviously, where they stand. They'll try to prove people wrong, but Big Ten Media Days coming up tomorrow for Fred Hoiberg and company.
Yeah, the women today, correct, for Big Ten Media Days, and the men tomorrow. So, I don't think you necessarily need all that hoopla in the preseason. Save it for on the court. Yeah. Win games on the court, and if people start to wake up to you in February and March, that ain't the worst thing.
So we are actually going to be off tomorrow. You'll hear us. We've got our pick segment coming up tomorrow with Searles, but we're going to hand things over to Nick Hanley because team's leaving early, a day early. We chatted a little bit about this. I know Coach Rule was asked about it, brought it up that, of course, of the sports science and all of that kind of stuff. Leaving a day early, they're going to practice here and then get on the flight and head on out to Maryland. We'll be there for extra day, I guess, more than what's typical of a road trip.
I think they thought it was going to be a noon game. Turns out that wasn't the case. So I think they wanted it to be a little bit earlier to get back and then have that game on Friday night against Minnesota. So it's going to be a quick turnaround. But let's see how this team deals with this. I use adversity in air quotes, but you're flying a long ways. You got a kickoff on the East Coast, true road game for the first time. How does this team deal with a different setting and circumstance? We're going to find out a little bit more about this Nebraska team.
They love being at home, but Coach Rule has talked about this. He also loves the road games and the us against the world mentality. And, hey, you got to really come together. And it's crazy that it's, second weekend of October, and it's the first time that they're hitting the road. Really, again, that's even Coach Rule said it. Kansas City, Cincinnati doesn't really count because travel wasn't very far, wasn't typical travel, and then also it was a home game inside that stadium.
Yeah, and I know this. I checked the itinerary. Me and Damon are sitting next to each other on the plane, so excited for that. I'll make sure I have the Wi-Fi password ready to go.
Make sure you're ready to set up his Wi-Fi laptop and his headphones and all the things, all of his electronics. Be ready to get that all set up.
I'm going to have all the passwords and everything ready to go, so Damon just shows up on the plane and everything's connected.
He also really loves the Uncrustables, so,
Do they hand those out?
They do.
I think.
He actually doesn't, but you could probably give it to him and say, I heard you really like them. He'd probably be mad. He'd probably know it came from me.
Love it.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us. Again, Nick Hanley will be here tomorrow night, and we'll have an hour for you coming up on Friday night. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Returns on the farm are under pressure, with market challenges and environmental hurdles putting every seed to the test. But you have an ace in the hole, Streamline Ag. Designed for every phase of growth and development, Streamline Ag gives your seed what it needs to thrive, from enhanced stand establishment and early emergence to essential nutrition and stress management. Streamline Ag gives your seed the power to reach its full potential. Visit us at streamline-ag.com to learn more.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
The color red means something to us. It means tough, ready, and powerful. It means our standards are high, and we expect the highest level of performance on and in the field. So while the Huskers are getting it done on the football field, you can count on Massey Ferguson tractors to get it done in your field. With its seamless CVT transmission and efficient AGCO-powered engine, you'll keep charging down the field all season long. Check out the full line of Massey Ferguson equipment at Osceola Implement in Osceola and True Ag and Turf in Falls City, Columbus, and Osmond.
As the world's largest family-owned and operated manufacturer of grain storage, drying, and handling equipment, Sukup Manufacturing Company has led the way in innovation, offering top-quality products that empower farmers to thrive. Get ready to tackle your agricultural challenges with Sukup, where innovation meets reliability. Visit sukup.com today to find a dealer near you.